Hey guys, welcome back to our channel, our success podcast. We finally got a name to introduce it with. Um, but yeah, so I'm John.
I'm Dave.
Dave.
It's very nice to see you guys finally after so long.
I know.
It's been 6 months.
It has 6 months.
Yeah. So just really want to apologize, for the long break. I think we've mentioned this in our previous podcast. Me and John, we don't really live like close to each other, so
Yeah. But we're back. We're gonna record like a bunch of episodes for you guys.
hopefully.
If you guys watched the trailer, you would have seen it. So let's introduce the topics. So our first topic is shared struggles. Second topic is head scratchers, where me and Dave both chose two random facts off of the internet, and we're gonna it's like conversational thoughts that we can talk about. And third is philosophical thoughts again.
Yeah,
we thought our first segment on the first ever episode, philosophical thoughts, took up like 15 minutes.
Which is good.
Yeah.
Which is good because it also gets all these like thoughts out of our minds and onto video, which we all really, need. Because sometimes, like I've mentioned in the previous podcast, we have these thoughts and it goes nowhere if we don't film it or document it. So yeah, sometimes it's really cool to.
Yeah. And our final topic is gonna be quiz time, where this time Dave is going to ask me 10 trivia questions, and he's going to test my knowledge because last time he didn't really do so well.
Yeah, how much did I get? 3?
I think
3 out of 10?
3.
Well, I also have 10 questions ready for John, and
Yeah.
he will be answering them instead of me this time.
All right, so let's jump into our first topic, shared struggles. Okay, you want to introduce this?
Yes, so before I even read part of the script, like we made the notes for it, before I even start reading it, I just want to quickly say, I've had this like thought constantly running through my head, especially me. I'm a college student, and I'm sure other students will kind of like maybe look back and they'll say, maybe I also had a thought like this at some point, and they'll remember. So animals, for example, right? They live their life. They have a heart that's beating. They're on the field or whatever it could be. They live their life stress-free. So the main question I have is, why do humans make it so that they have a very stressful life? Like, we could live a life without having stress, as seen in animals. Yes, we're very intelligent, but why do we make our life always very stressful and filled with all sorts of things?
Yeah, well, the human brain is so complex that we just like create new like inventions and just create so much new things.
Yeah.
And I mean, we have like jobs. We created this whole like society for ourselves. Now we have responsibilities and stuff, and it's just like we're the ones that take care of animals. Animals rely on us, on humans.
That's actually, wow, that's a very good point. We didn't even talk about that before. Yeah. But yeah, it's weird because, if we were to change the way we do things, if we were to go into a stress-free route, I think that it will actually be completely impossible because it's already kind of in our system. Like, I think I might be wrong, but it could have now become a genetic thing where it's like, I don't know, our minds motivate us to create new things. We always have to do something. You understand? It's weird. Like, we have all these things. We have like due dates, jobs, school, homework, finances, but animals don't have that. They just wake up, sleep, eat. Yeah.
I know.
They have natural things as well, like reproduction.
Yeah.
Taking care of their kids, peeing, pooping, whatever, all that stuff.
Yeah.
But the whole purpose of this question is just, how come human society went into this route from the very beginning to become very stressful? That's what I don't understand ever.
Yeah. Well, again, like what I said before, we're only improving in like technology, and we're like, I don't know, like the human brain compared to like an animal brain, like not even like a dog, but just like a bird or something. It's just like insane about the difference.
Yep.
Okay, so now let's talk about our second topic, head scratchers.
All right. So here, me and John, we've found two really interesting facts online, and we're gonna sit and I'm gonna say one, he's gonna say one, I'm gonna say another, and he's gonna say another, and then we're kind of gonna see if there's anything to talk about between each one. So I never saw his yet, and he never saw mine yet. So do you want to go first?
Yeah, sure, I'll go first. All right. So this is actually really cool, but did you know that pigeons have been trained to spot cancer in medical slides?
Bro, what?
Yeah, I thought it was a joke at first, but it's actually real. So let me just read off some of the research that I found. Researchers trained pigeons using like food rewards, right? Just how like you train a normal animal like a dog to like sit and stuff, but they researched pigeons using food, and the birds were shown images of tissues, some with cancer and some healthy. And just after a couple weeks, the pigeons learned to tell the difference with up to 85% accuracy.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Do we know when this study was done?
I did not.
Because
Yeah.
it would be so cool if you know you read up a little bit more on it and you find out that this type of stuff was seen in the 60s or something. Because
yeah, I know this probably happened like in the last like decade for sure.
a little bit off topic, but I know that in like the 40s, 50s, and 60s, scientists they used a lot of animals for like revolutionary like tests and stuff, and they've come up with so much since then, and that's really crazy. Whoa!
Yeah.
Oh my gosh!
And another thing is, which is even crazier, is when there's multiple pigeons working together, their accuracy gets like even higher.
Is there a number for that?
Well, it's obviously a little more than like 85%, but just like it's insane. Like it's just like a teamwork of
85%?
Yeah,
or above 85%?
Above 85% accuracy.
What if it works by itself? It would be less accurate.
It
That's
would be
crazy.
less. It would be
Whoa.
less.
Wow.
Like, yeah, it's insane. Like they have like the scientists found that pigeons have insane and incredible visual memory, and their brains can pick up patterns almost like humans. Human radiologists. So
Well, they do spend a lot of time with humans, especially like I've seen in New York, New Jersey.
yeah.
There's a lot of pigeons everywhere. Maybe
I know, yeah.
Florida. There's always pigeons everywhere.
May as well use them for
Something, yeah.
All right,
They're really nice.
Do you want to give your
Okay, yeah.
first head scratcher?
So, my first fact is that honey never spoils. So, where do we see this? So, thanks to its lower water content, natural acidity, and hydrogen peroxide production, honey is particularly immortal. Basically, archaeologists actually found, was it in Egypt? Yeah, Egyptian tombs, 3,000 years old or something like that. They found jars of honey in pyramids and other like tombs and stuff, and I don't know why they would try it, but they tried it and it still was good. How do you know that? How do you know that you're not gonna get no food poisoning from that, bro?
I know.
But yeah, they tried it and it was still tasting like honey, and I think they ran the test and they saw that it was still totally okay. It was like completely unharmed. Yeah.
That's crazy.
All right, so I said mine. So John, it's up to you to finish up with a really good one.
Yeah. All right. So I actually found this one was very interesting. But how many senses do we have?
Senses?
Yeah.
Usually, well, 5, right?
5, right?
5.
Yeah. We all grew up learning that there are 5 senses, which are sight, hearing, taste, touch, and smell.
That sounds right.
But it turns out that scientists say humans actually have at least 8 to 14 senses.
14?
Yeah.
Okay, 8 I could believe, but 14?
Yeah.
Damn.
But I'm just going to give you a couple, not all. For example, your sense of position, like knowing where your arm is even with your eyes closed. That's just like, like, that's also like kind of like your sense of balance. That's another one. Your ability to feel temperature and your sense of pain. So, what do you think about that?
Well, it does make sense actually because sometimes I'm not gonna even lie to you. Whenever you're outside and you, let's say, don't have like a thermometer or your phone on you, you will like in your head already approximate how much you think the weather is, for example. Like, I feel like it's around 50, 60, for example.
Yeah.
Like it is today out here.
So that would be a reason for why.
It's
that's
a
like another
sense.
sense, exactly.
Yeah.
But we all grew up learning that there's 5 senses, so that's an interesting fact.
Yeah.
But
and then pain, I guess that should be an obvious one because, like,
if I smack you right now,
I'm gonna feel it.
Yeah,
it's a sense.
Yeah.
I could sense that I'm in pain. It's pretty obvious.
Yeah.
But we don't just. That's weird.
It's kind of like touch, except it's like the opposite. Like when you touch me, you feel that.
Oh, so it could be a sub sense, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But yeah,
some scientists view it as just a sense.
That's pretty cool.
All right. So do you want to finish off this topic with your final?
Yes. Okay. So you talked about pigeons, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna be talking about another bird. It's weird. We both did birds in our. Okay.
That's funny.
So penguins propose with pebbles to their mates. Basically, in many like penguin species, what I found out is that males search for the smoothest and perfect pebble to present to the female. If she accepts it, then they build a nest together, and it's kind of like, how we propose with like a ring.
Yeah.
So, and if the girl or the guy, mostly it should be the girl, who says yes, I accept, I will marry you, whatever it is. For the penguin, it's the pebble, and it has to be the most perfect pebble. Same with humans. We always try to get like the perfect diamond bracelet, and it has to be perfect. Penguins are like the same thing.
It's actually pretty interesting, like how their brains work. Like do they even have like a language where they speak with each other, or how does the other penguin know that the penguin he proposed to accepted or something?
I just thought, isn't this like a form of bribery? Like, will you accept, yes or no? It's kind of like bribery, or I don't know, decision making as well. I don't know. That's pretty funny.
That's actually really, really interesting. All right, let's jump into our third topic, philosophical thoughts.
Part 2.
All right, so we got 2 ideas. Or actually, no, we got 1 idea. We got 1 idea, and it's what makes something right or wrong. Like,
that's a good question.
Is something wrong because we all agree it is, or is it wrong because it's wrong? Like, for example, if society thought that stealing was good, would that be good?
No, when you said just wrong, what justifies something being wrong? It's only us. We justify what's right and what's wrong.
Yeah.
So, to go back to the question, what makes something right or wrong? So the thing that makes it right or wrong is humans. Because without humans, there will be no justice. No justice system.
Yeah.
Nothing to tell you what is right and what is wrong.
Yeah.
Think about it. Animals also, they don't have that, by the way. I think. I don't know. But to me, it seems like they don't have it. So, let's say a person is born to understand that, let's say, robbing cars is normal. To that person, it's right.
Yeah.
Because that's what they were brought up with. But to the general, like, public, everybody else, I think, they would most likely say it's wrong. But again, it's kind of, how do I say it? It's an opinion,
Yeah. Okay, yeah. So what I was saying before about the example I gave about society thinking that if stealing was good, then it would be good. I actually think just because society thinks something, it doesn't mean that it's right or wrong, because like I feel like something that defines something as being wrong and right, it's if it harms the other person. Like, not physically, just, like, if I stole your phone from you, you would feel bad, right? That would be wrong, what I did. But if I give you a new phone, you would feel happy. So that makes it right.
That's weird. That's a cool thought, actually.
Yeah.
But again, you're associating wrong with feeling bad. For some people, it could be that like stealing a car, it can make that person happy. Well,
Yeah.
yeah, it can make another person not happy.
Yeah, I'm talking about making how it feels to the other person, not the one who's actually doing the action. But yeah, I see what you're saying. For them, it
Still, I think it is all up to humans, but if you think about it, what's concrete and what's really really true, there is no right and wrong. But it's here's a good tie back, like to tie something back. Humans make their society, they progress and everything. So the same way the humans make rules, constitutions, etc., in order to show the entire world what is right and what is wrong.
Yeah.
So it's still all humans at the end of the day who decide what's right and wrong. But
Yeah.
but really no one knows like the actual thing. If it wasn't for humans, we wouldn't have right or wrong.
Yeah.
So
I actually really like this topic about philosophical thoughts. Maybe this might be like every episode, just at the end, maybe a bonus.
we can have like
topic.
one
One-
thing to
one
talk about.
idea,
Yeah, we'll
yeah.
see. At least for this like chapter,
Yeah,
we'll see.
season 1. Yeah.
Season 1, yeah.
So let's jump into the quiz time. And Dave came up with 10 trivia questions. I still haven't even looked at any of them. And let's see how I do.
Okay, well, you can close your laptop at this point because we have the script.
I'll just half close it.
Okay. So, question 1. You ready? What is the largest continent on Earth?
The largest continent. There are 7 continents. Largest one, Antarctica or Asia? I'll say Asia.
Asia is correct. That's 1. What element has the chemical symbol O?
Oxygen.
Correct. See, I never took chemistry, so I wouldn't know that.
I'm currently taking chemistry.
In-
Walter White.
In math, what is the value of pi rounded to the 2 decimal places?
3.14.
Everybody should know that. Even me from last time.
What is that? 3 for 3?
3 for 3.
Doing better than this guy.
How many bones are in the adult human body?
Oh my god.
Come on.
I'm
I knew this
so
before I
off.
knew any of the other ones, just so you know.
It's in the 200s or the 300s? 316?
First one wrong. 206.
Oh,
And I knew that.
I did not know that.
Who wrote Romeo and Juliet?
Shakespeare?
Correct. See, that one's actually kind of tricky because there's a million really famous writers.
Especially in that time.
Yeah. What direction does a compass needle usually point at?
Wherever you're standing?
Well, yeah, but it should be one direction. What is the main?
Like north, east, southwest?
Yeah.
North?
Mostly north. Correct. Who is credited with inventing the light bulb?
Who?
Yes. Everybody should know this.
Newton? No, wait.
Well, that was your answer.
Okay, fine.
Thomas Edison.
Well, I did not know that.
Yeah. Who's the first president of the U.S.?
John F. No, okay. George Washington.
Correct. What type of rock is formed under cooled lava?
What type of rock? That's a good question. What type of rock is cooled, you said?
Formed
Formed.
from cooled lava. Think about association of words. I want you to get this one. This is the last question.
Diamonds?
Diamonds is a good guess, but nope, it's igneous rock.
Oh.
So you're 7 for 10.
7 for 10. That's a lot better than
3 for
Dave.
10. Okay, next time I promise to do better though, guys.
Yeah.
All right.
All
So
right.
that's 7 for 10 for John. That's really good.
Yeah.
I guess that
Concludes.
pretty much concludes
yeah.
episode 2, guys.
Yeah.
So we will continue to film.
Yeah. In future days.
Yeah.
Well, he's gonna. Dave's gonna be. We're both gonna be here for.
A couple weeks.
Yeah, a couple of weeks. So we're gonna make sure that we just make at least 3 more.
Yeah, and then we're pre-recording them, and then because we're leaving from this place in a few weeks, so I will make sure to have them ready to be uploaded. Yeah, I think it's important that we tell you guys what we do. So
Yeah. And if you guys like a certain topic, for example, like the head scratchers, please leave a comment. giving us an idea to use as a
Leave comments in general, you know,
Yeah.
because I wanna know if
we want to know what's good, what's bad.
Yep.
What we're doing good, what we're doing bad. So just don't be scared to leave a comment. We won't.
we'll like every comment.
Yeah, we'll like every comment. But okay.
So that concludes episode 2, Success Podcast, and
we're out.
we'll see you guys actually in a few days and stuff.
Peace.